Have you ever been told your blood pressure is perfect? 120/80. Clean, safe, ideal. That's what most doctors will tell you. But what if I told you, for someone over 65, that number could actually be putting you at risk? Not of disease, but of something far more immediate. Falling, losing your balance, breaking a hip, and slowly losing your independence. Let me tell you about Daniel. He was 72, still active, still driving, still living on his own. His doctor praised him, said his blood pressure was excellent, always around 120/80. Then one morning, he stood up from his bed, and the room spun. Within seconds, he lost his balance and fell. That fall changed everything. 3 months later, he wasn't living at home anymore. That fall changed everything. 3 months later, he wasn't living at home anymore. Now, here's what most people don't realize. That fall wasn't random. It wasn't just aging. It was a signal that his blood pressure was actually too low for his body. And this is where it gets really interesting. A large study published in a major medical journal followed over 15,000 older adults for 5 years. What they found shocked even experienced physicians. Seniors with perfect blood pressure, 120/80, had a 28% higher risk of falling. And even more concerning, they had a higher mortality rate compared to those with slightly higher numbers. Let that sink in. Higher numbers, better outcomes. This goes against everything you've been told. But here's the truth, your body already knows. As you age, your brain needs stronger blood flow. Your muscles need stability. Your balance depends on pressure, not just circulation, but enough circulation. Too low, and your system becomes unstable. Too low, and your brain doesn't get what it needs in that critical moment when you stand up. So before we go any further, I want to ask you something simple. How old are you right now? And what is your usual blood pressure? Drop both in the comments, because what I'm about to show you next might completely change the way you think about your numbers and could help you stay sharp, steady, and independent for years to come. Now, before we talk about ideal numbers, there's something far more important. A test. A simple test your body performs every single day. But almost no one pays attention to it, and it might already be warning you that your blood pressure is too low. Here's what I want you to think about. Have you ever stood up and felt a slight dizziness? Maybe just for a second. Maybe you brushed it off, told yourself, that's normal. But it's not. That moment is one of the most important signals your body can give you. Because when you stand up, your body has to do something very quickly. It has to push blood upward against gravity from your heart all the way to your brain. And it has to do that in seconds. If it fails, even slightly, your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. That's when you feel lightheaded. That's when your vision dims. That's when your balance becomes unstable. Now, here's where it gets serious. If your blood pressure is too low, your body simply cannot respond fast enough. And over time, those small moments turn into real risk. Falls, injuries, loss of confidence when walking, and eventually, loss of independence. Now, let me show you something incredibly powerful. A test you can do at home in less than 2 minutes. It's called the standing blood pressure test. And this is where it gets really interesting. First, lie down and rest for 5 minutes. Let your body settle. Then measure your blood pressure while lying down. Write the numbers down. Now stand up and measure it again, immediately. Don't wait, don't walk around. Measure it right away. Now here's the key. If your top number, your systolic pressure, drops by 20 points or more, or your bottom number drops by 10 points or more, that's a red flag, a serious one. It means your body is struggling to maintain blood flow to your brain when you stand. In medical terms, this is called orthostatic hypotension. But in real life, it means your system is unstable. And here's what most people don't realize. This often happens not because of disease, but because blood pressure is being pushed too low, sometimes by medication. sometimes by outdated targets, sometimes by trying too hard to hit that perfect 120/80. Let me tell you about Maria. She was 76, very disciplined, took her medication exactly as prescribed. Her blood pressure looked perfect on paper. But every time she stood up, she felt a wave of dizziness. She stopped going outside alone, stopped walking in the evenings. Not because she was weak, but because she didn't trust her body anymore. We ran this exact test. Her blood pressure dropped more than 25 points when she stood. That was the moment everything changed. Not her diagnosis, her understanding. So here's what I want you to do. Try this test today. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Because the goal is not just to have good numbers. The goal is to stay steady on your feet, clear in your mind, and in control of your life. Now, here's where everything you've been told starts to fall apart. For years, maybe decades, you've heard the same message. Lower blood pressure is always better. Lower means safer. Lower means healthier. Lower means longer life. But what if that's only true for younger bodies? What if after 65, that rule quietly changes and no one tells you? Because your body is not the same as it was at 40. Your arteries are stiffer. Your nervous system responds slower. Your brain requires more consistent, more stable blood flow. And here's the part most people don't realize. If pressure drops too low, your brain doesn't get enough fuel, especially in critical moments. Standing up, walking, turning. That's when accidents happen. Now, let me show you what the research actually says. A large-scale study followed more than 15,000 older adults over 5 years. And the results were uncomfortable for traditional thinking. Those with systolic blood pressure under 120 had higher rates of falls, higher rates of fractures, and higher mortality. But those who maintained slightly higher levels lived longer, stayed steadier. They functioned better mentally. Let me say that again, because it matters. They functioned better. Not just survived, but stayed sharp, stable, and independent. This is not about ignoring blood pressure. This is about understanding what your body truly needs now. Let me tell you about George. He was 79, very careful with his health, checked his blood pressure daily, proud when it dropped below 120. Thought he was doing everything right. But over time, something changed. He started feeling weaker when standing. His steps became slower, more cautious, not because he was aging, but because his body was compensating. One evening, he stood up too quickly, lost balance, fell. That fall didn't just hurt his body, it changed how he lived. He stopped going out alone, stopped trusting his legs, stopped feeling like himself. When we reviewed his numbers, his blood pressure was consistently perfect. Too perfect. Once adjusted to a slightly higher, safer range, the dizziness reduced. His confidence returned. Slowly, he got his independence back. So here's the truth. This is not about chasing a number, it's about supporting a system. Your system, your brain, your balance, your ability to stand, walk, and live freely. And in the next part, I'm going to show you something even more important. The actual blood pressure ranges that support strength, stability, and independence based on your age. Because yes, there is a range where your body performs best. Now, let's bring everything together. Because at this point, you might be asking, if 120/80 is not ideal for me anymore, then what is? And this is where most people are left completely confused, because no one explains this clearly. So let me make it simple for you. Your ideal blood pressure depends on your age, not in a vague way, in a very specific, functional way, because your goal is no longer just prevention. Your goal is stability, clarity, independence. Now here's what decades of clinical observation and recent research are showing us. If you are between 65 and 74 and generally healthy, Your optimal systolic blood pressure, the top number, is not 120. It's between 130 and 140. Why? Because at that level, you maintain enough pressure to support strong blood flow to the brain without creating excessive strain on the cardiovascular system. It's a balance, not too low, not too high. Now, if you are between 75 and 84, your arteries are naturally stiffer. That's not disease. That's aging. So your body actually benefits from slightly higher pressure. Your optimal range becomes 135 to 145. At this level, you reduce the risk of dizziness. You improve stability when standing, and you support better cognitive function. Now, here's where it becomes even more important. If you are 85 or older, or if you feel physically weaker, more fragile, your target shifts again. Your body is no longer trying to optimize numbers. It's trying to protect function. So, a systolic pressure between 140 and 150 is not dangerous. In many cases, it's protective because it helps prevent falls, it supports circulation to the brain, and it preserves your ability to move safely. Now, let's talk about something most people ignore. The bottom number, your diastolic pressure. This is critical. It should never drop too low. Ideally, it stays between 70 and 85, because that number is what feeds your heart muscle itself. If it drops below 60, your heart may not be getting enough blood, and over time, that creates a completely different set of risks. Now, I want to pause here for a moment, because this is important. These are not rigid rules, they are guidance. You should never adjust your medication on your own. Always speak with your doctor. But what you can do is understand your body better. Ask better questions. Notice patterns, because your goal is not to force your body into a number. It's to support it at the stage it's in. Now, let me ask you something. Where do your numbers usually fall? Below 120? Between 130 and 140? Or above 140? Comment your range below. I read those, and it helps me understand what you're dealing with. Because in the next part, I'm going to show you something most people never consider: how timing, movement, and daily habits can either stabilize your blood pressure or make these problems worse without you realizing it. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt dizzy when standing up? Just type yes or no in the comments, because what you're about to learn next might explain exactly why that's happening. Is your morning routine pushing your blood pressure too low? Many habits you believe are healthy might actually be dangerous. Waking up and standing up too quickly is a major trigger. Your body simply isn't ready, leading to morning instability and dizziness. Combine that with dehydration and medication taken early, and your pressure can drop at the worst possible time. Skipping breakfast also makes your system more sensitive to drops, leaving you feeling foggy, weak, or off balance. Even hot showers cause blood vessels to expand, lowering your pressure even further if you already run low. It's not just about numbers, it's about timing and context. Small adjustments to your routine can create immediate changes in how you feel. Stay stable and clear. In the next part, I'll show you a daily rhythm your body can truly rely on. Stay tuned. Now, this is where everything starts to come together, because understanding the problem is only half of the solution. What really changes your life is what you do every single day. So let me show you a simple routine. Not complicated, not extreme. Just a rhythm your body can rely on. From morning to night. Let's start with the morning. When you wake up, don't rush. Sit on the edge of your bed for a moment. Give your body time to adjust. Let your circulation catch up. Then stand up slowly. This one small change can prevent that sudden drop in blood pressure. Now, before you move too much, hydrate. Even a glass of water helps restore volume in your system. Remember, after a full night of sleep, your body is slightly dehydrated, and that alone can lower your pressure. Next, eat something light but meaningful. Not a heavy meal, but something that gives your body stability. A bit of protein, a bit of healthy fat. This helps maintain both blood sugar and blood pressure. Now, let's move into the middle of the day. This is when your body is most active, most stable, but also when subtle drops can happen, especially if you've been sitting too long. So here's what I recommend. Every 60 to 90 minutes, stand up, move. Even just walking around your room helps circulation return to your brain. If you're able, a short walk in the afternoon is incredibly powerful. Not intense, just steady. This improves blood flow, supports your brain, and stabilizes your system naturally. Now, let's talk about the afternoon. This is when many people feel that dip. Energy drops, focus becomes harder. And if your pressure is borderline low, this is when symptoms show up. So instead of caffeine or sugar, try movement or a small balanced snack. This supports your system without creating a crash later. Now we come to the evening. This is where many people make a critical mistake. They stand up too quickly in low light, they move without awareness, and that's when falls happen. So here's a simple rule. Slow down your transitions when you get up, pause, let your body stabilize before moving, and finally, nighttime. If you wake up to use the bathroom, never jump out of bed. Sit first, let your system adjust, because at night, your blood pressure is naturally lower and your risk is higher. Now, let me be clear, this routine is not about perfection, it's about consistency, because your body thrives on rhythm, predictability, support, and when you give it that, something powerful happens. You feel more stable, more clear, more in control. And in the next part, I'm going to show you how to bring everything together into a simple, realistic plan you can follow, without stress, without confusion, and without fear.
Let's simplify everything with a 4-step system to stay steady and in control of your life. Step 1. Check your response. Don't just guess. Step 2. Respect your personal range, usually between 130 and 150 based on your age. Step 3. Control your timing, medication, food, and movement. Step 4. Support your system daily with hydration and slow transitions. Prevention starts when you notice subtle changes, dizziness, or instability. Your body is asking for support, not failing you. When you respond with understanding, you don't just avoid falls. You regain the certainty to live your life fully. Those moments of uncertainty are your opportunity, not your limitation. Stay steady and stay in control.
Before we finish, I want you to hear this clearly, not as advice, but as something I've seen over and over again. In more than 30 years working with people your age, it is not too late. Not too late to feel steady when you stand. Not too late to think clearly in the morning. Not too late to walk with confidence, even if right now you feel unsure. Because what many people call aging is often something else entirely. It's the result of small mismatches between what your body needs now and what it's being given. Targets that are too low. Routines that don't support stability. Habits that slowly work against you. And when those things are adjusted, something remarkable happens. Not instantly, but steadily, quietly. Your body begins to respond again. Let me tell you about Mr. Thomas. He was 85. And when I first met him, he had already made up his mind. He believed his world was getting smaller. He moved carefully, spoke less, relied more on others than he truly needed to. Not because he had lost everything, but because he had lost confidence in his body. We didn't try to change everything. We made small intentional adjustments. We allowed his blood pressure to rise to a safer range for his age. We slowed down his morning routine. We helped him understand what his body had been trying to tell him all along. 2 weeks later, he said something simple. I feel steadier. Not stronger, not younger, steadier. And a few weeks after that, he started walking outside again, on his own, carefully, but without fear. That is what matters. Because at this stage of life, you're not chasing perfection. You're protecting something far more important, your independence, your confidence, your ability to live your life your way. So if you take anything from this video, let it be this: your body is not giving up on you. It is asking for the right support. And when you listen, when you adjust, when you respect what it needs now, you can feel the difference. You can move with more certainty. You can live with more ease. And you can hold on to the life you've built for longer than you may think. So from me to you, I truly wish you something simple, but powerful. Steady steps, a clear mind, and a body you can trust each time you stand. Take care of yourself, and may you stay strong, stable, and independent for many years to come.